Good morning. Welcome to your daily tarot reading. I'm Karen, this Veronica Streams Coaching and Tarot. Today is Friday. I'm going to use the Somnia Tarot today. I'm going to shorten it up a little bit. I think on the daily ones, I'll keep it a little more current. And I believe the beginning of the week, I'll do the longer ones so that the daily ones are a little shorter. So let's get started here. What do we got? One more shuffle. What do we need to know today? Okay, here we go. Current situation is the world. Present influence. Lovers. Unexpected. Page of Coins. Challenge. Two of Swords. Strength. Eight of Pentacles. And where does this lead? The Fool. And one more. Can't not. Okay. Eight of Swords. Why did I do that? Advice. Okay, Justice. King of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck and it's followed by the Two of Cups. So, and with the Lovers there, I feel like there could be some kind of partnership happening. The Two of Cups reminds me more of a relationship than the Lovers on a regular basis, but with the World there too, it feels like there's coming to some kind of goal reached here, whether it's with a relationship or in a relationship or in a partnership of some sort. I'm gonna get comfortable here, sorry. So, got the World in the current situation, reaching that goal. I consider the World a lot. It's an example of, graduating college where it takes a lot of hard work and you've put a lot of effort in, but there is an end to that, right? So that's that goal reach, that life cycle, that period of time where you've reached a successful conclusion. So there's something here that you're going to be really looking at as far as, okay, this is done naturally. And I love having the Fool out here because the Fool is the that follows the world, right? This is the last card in the majors. This is the first card. So it's kind of like a nice feeling with that coming up that, okay, well, while something may be ending, there's something new on the horizon and you're ready to go. I'm going to clarify the Lovers here before I read too much on it. What is this Lovers and the present influence? And I'll clarify the World too. I want to see more before I go too heavy here. Tell me about this Lovers card, please. Ace of Wands, Knight of Wands, Ten of Swords. Oh boy. It feels like Ace of Wands, and I mean the Ace of Wands with the Knight of Wands. Wow, like that. There's a lot of energy with those two cards as far as moving, physical energy. Emotional too, but I feel like the wands speak a lot to physical. There's something beginning here, and you're finding a very wonderful, passionate new beginning, and you're going for it with that Knight of Wands. I think the Ten of Swords is only saying that there is like something new on the horizon. There's this understanding that you have to put an end to something to make room for other things, right? And whatever that ending is, I feel like with this Lovers, for some of you, yeah, it could be a love partner, a partnership of some sort, and it's not an ending of that partnership. That Ten of Swords does not say that. The Ten of Swords says maybe the way it's been, like, could be an ending, because what we're doing is making room for something new here. And I do feel like it could be like someone that you know already as a friend, or some kind of object in your life of some sort, but that role changes. So yeah, for some of you, it could be, someone that you knew and then you become, lovers, but it's also about partners in general. And especially with this, I feel like what's happening with this influence, again, it's an influence. So, and not as predictive as these cards, but it's, it's getting you to understand this person or partnership is helping you to understand, okay, yeah, there is new things out there, there's a new beginning, and I need to deal with ending something though. If I want room for this Ace of Wands energy, for this passion, this fire, I've really got to, say goodbye to some other things, or put some other things, you know away, or be done with them completely. It depends. So, it could be temporary or completely. So there's that feeling here. And then we have the World. So this is like you're realizing this is a time, and it's starting now. So this being the influence, this is how you're feeling, how you're reacting is, yes, I'm at that time where you've reached some kind of goal here, and you're like, okay, time for something new. I've done this, now I can do XYZ. Let's clarify the World, see if there's more info on that. They're also with that Page of Pentacles. To me, I see that, especially in this deck, as a discovery coming from, work that you've been doing. So there is a discovery happening here as well. Okay, what is this? Chariot, King of Swords, Two of Wands. Yeah, yeah, there's something here. I love the Chariot because it's that victory card that's moving forward. Don't always have the control, but I feel like with that King of Swords following that, there's more control than you might think. And whatever you're doing is taking thought. It's taking work. The King of Swords is definitely it works hard and focused, and an intellectual type of work, but it's more than that. It's not just that you're thinking about it, or it's you're moving forward with it with that Chariot. And the Two of Wands then solidifies the Chariot, where okay, now the Chariot's kind of like sometimes you have to be careful because you're trusting, and not that you have to be careful to trust. The trusting of, I don't have my hands on the reins, the Chariot's going and doing what it wants to do, boom, moving forward. However, the Two of Wands is that energy of, okay, I'm using this intellect, this guide as at the King of Swords. I know what goal I'm headed towards with that King of Swords energy. However, the Two of Wands is a little bit more flexible because he's looking out at the entire landscape and saying, I can do all of these things, but how do I get started, and what's the first path to take? And being prepared, if he's looking at the entire landscape, he understands that there may be obstacles that he has to work through. And that's a really good energy when you're completing something, because you're realizing that this is coming to an end, and now I have to move forward and on. So we have the Page of Pentacles in the unexpected, and there's hard work with the Page of Pentacles. He works hard, and the work that the Pentacles do in general, they don't come easy. We've got the King here too, where it's like you know being at that, reaching those goals, but it comes from a lot of hard work and a lot of trust in yourself, to really dig, to find the answers, to stay consistent, to be patient, and again, this is an earthy thing, and he's digging to get to that pentacle. And as you can see, it doesn't come short. I mean, he had to really, there's the hole is pretty deep. So he's done a lot of hard work. And I feel like the surprise isn't the hard work. I think what you're realizing is the hard work is paying off. And I think that's a huge energy as far as being, sometimes we can work hard and we feel like, oh, I'm doing all of these things and I'm going, and you're not seeing anything come out of it. And when that happens, it's very frustrating. This is that surprise. You are gaining, you are doing the right things, right? And then you have the Eight of Pentacles and the Strength, which means Yeah, it's still going to continue to take that hard work to stay focused, but you got it, and that's nice. So tell me more about this page of coins, please. Okay, so we have death, Six of Swords, Five of Pentacles. I mean, so I think what this Five of Pentacles is saying here, it's not like hiding. I feel like it's understanding that the same way doesn't always work because you've made changes, the death card. You know that things have grown. You have taken another course of action with the Six of Swords. What if things have been unstable or unpredictable or uncomfortable, and then you've already made that choice to move forward. And the Five of Pentacles is the, okay, I have to go a different route. And that is the discovery that this new route, this new energy, the old ways weren't working. I'm doing this a new way. I couldn't find any help or any guidance from the way I was doing it before, but now I'm getting there. So the Five of Pentacles, even though it looks like a hard card here, yes, it is, because that means that you've had trouble in the past too. But you've also learned that the old ways aren't always the right way. And this is the discovery of the new changes, the new direction that you're taking with this, the death to the Six of Swords. Feels and it's coming out of you, right? You're doing the work, and that's huge. When we're working through any kind of energy, again, this can be, take this as it resonates, because it could be any life situation. Now the challenge is, there's probably something where you need to say, okay, I need to really make a choice here. I have got to put down one of these swords. Something's holding you back enough, just enough, right? And this isn't anything that you can't overcome. When I pull the challenges, it's a bump in the road. It's something to consider, that if you're feeling like you're stuck, because we do have the Eight of Swords over here, you may want to say, okay, I just need to put down one of these swords. I really need to make a choice here and make a decision. And also, when we have the World clarifying, it's I mean, not the World, the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands, if you could spend a lot of time mapping out your transition, or where you want to go, or your path. But if you stay in that, trying to figure out the path, and don't actually take that step forward, it's still kind of, uh, you're not moving. You have to go, okay, I've mapped it out, this is how I'm going to get going. Now, taking that Wands energy, because it's a lot of energy, helps you. But that's the Two of Swords. Make that choice on what step to take, what direction to start in, and get moving. Because taking advantage of the wand energy and the clarifying will really help, just kind of moving forward. And then the Eight of Swords, though, is the reminder to yourself that you have the ability. And either, so for some of you, it could be that you've already done the study and you've already done the work. And anytime, though, we want something new, there's always work to be continued. But you have this within you to really focus and get the answers. Or and think of the Eight of Pentacles. I feel like, well, it's, a lot of people refer to as the Apprentice card. You're really learning, you're taking in everything, you're really trying to perfect your skill. But this is also a reminder that this isn't necessarily still like not moving energy. It The Eight of Pentacles is also when we're moving forward and we're going, okay, that didn't work, so let's do this. Well, that didn't work, let's do this. So it's more about, too, that doesn't mean you have to sit and study. I want to make that clear, that you can go out and say, I'm going to try X. Oh, that didn't work, let's do this. Because that's part of that Two of Wands that clarified as well. You've got the whole vision, you're looking at the whole landscape. Take one step and try the thing that feels the best. And if it's not quite working, then you tweak it along the way. And that's the Eight of Pentacles. You have the ability to do that, and keep that in mind as you move forward. As we move forward, we've got the Fool. Where does this all lead? The Fool, a new energy, cutting yourself free from old ties. The World. There's something that you have to put to an end here, or at least shut the door on it for a while, or put it in storage. Because the Fool is saying, yeah, cut those ties, start moving forward. Now, those ties can be a lot of different things that hold you back from taking a leap of faith. It could be fear, it could be, emotional based, it could be any of those things that, oh, what if I fail? Or, those what ifs, those kind of energies. And the Fool's asking you to 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 go into it with curiosity instead of having these, do or die. I'm either going to do this or I'm going to fail, because failing is only part of the journey as well. It's how we learn. It's how we better ourselves. And so, it's kind of the Fool's asking you to cut those ties. So let's take a look at the Fool. Let's, if I can shuffle, let's take a look at the Fool. What is the Fool, please? What is this Fool? What do we need to know about the Fool and where this leads? Knight of Swords, Two of Pentacles, Death card. There is a change here in the way you're doing things in general. It's like the Knight of Swords is that, okay, let's go, let's do it, let's go in, and kind of a little bit chaotic, a lot of speed, out of nowhere. And then this is quite the opposite, the Two of Pentacles, like, okay, let's stay, let's not get too topsy-turvy. But the Death card is, I think it's saying, you kind of have to get a little topsy-turvy if you really want to make changes in your life. That changes aren't easy, no matter what we're doing, whether it's even just a new job, which is, not an uncommon thing to have to start a new job, but those changes aren't easy. I'm trying to go on a diet. I'm trying to start exercising. I'm trying to start painting. And, they can be fun, but it doesn't mean they're necessarily easy. And this seems a little deeper than just like a side, creative class or something. It's something that you really want to dig into. But I feel like the Fool is that energy, that chaotic energy of the Knight of Swords. I almost feel like you're saying, I don't care if I fall. I don't care if I fall off these chairs. I don't care if I can't necessarily stay balanced. I want to just go. I want to do, because I want to make changes. Now, the Eight of Swords comes in after that. I'm going to clarify this because that is a little bit of that stuck energy, right? The non-movement. Now this could be outside sources that hold you back a little bit. Keep in mind, when it's an outside source, a job, a family member, something happens where you have no control over. Those are usually fleeting, or that you feel stuck for a while until you can navigate out of that. So let's see what that Eight of Swords is. That's interesting, because we've got the Sun, the King of Pentacles, and the Eight of Wands. I mean, this does not feel stuck at all. This feels like very much in control, and having that Eight of Wands there on top of the Sun and the King of Pentacles, which is the bottom of our deck, reaching those destinies, reaching those goals, and finding that joy, or looking for that joy, or whatever this is. Um, I think what this is saying, if you're feeling stuck, there's something that's going to come in that's going to unstick you. The Eight of Wands. I feel like that could be some kind of energy message push from the universe to get you moving forward with this Fool energy, because this is something that's really important to you. So there's something you really want to dive into. I feel like the Eight of Swords is not you being stuck, it's you freeing yourself. And that comes from the clarifiers, the Sun to the King of Pentacles, and then to the Eight of Wands. I think there's something that will come in, and it could be a message from a King of Pentacles person, a boss, usually definitely a masculine energy that has a lot of say in your life, or they're very important to you, or they help you out. But this message comes in, and that's what moves you out of that Eight of Swords. With the Eight of Wands is not a stuck energy. A matter of fact, it can be fleeting, so you want to grab a hold of it. But to me, it's almost saying there's going to be something coming in, and it's all about reaching your goals. Now, this person, this King of Pentacles, could be a person, or it could be your goal. For everybody, it's a little bit different. Your goal is to be more in line with your home, your finances, your having enough and having it in a way that is, like I say, controlled, that kind of energy. So let's take a look at your advice. We've got the Justice as advice. I'm going to pull this just a second. I'm going to do something here. I'm going to pause this for just a second because I don't want you to have to watch through me reading for a second. Hold on. I was looking at the booklet to see if anything, sometimes there's words in there that they write, especially with these different decks that kind of help, but there was nothing that was different than any other. The Justice is about truth and forgiveness too. But having that the blind truth, the blind justice, the um not I think what the advice is don't judge or don't assume that's something that you don't want to do until you give it a shot. Like, um, don't predict failure, but also, sometimes when we have a lot of things, because we have the Two of Swords there in our challenge, and we got to make a decision on what to do. If you have a lot of ideas, or you're working through a lot of different things on how to move forward, whether it's to get a new job, whether it's to find love, no matter what it is, don't don't necessarily, make sure that you look at all your options. Don't blindly select something that or move away from something because you think it might not be a good thing. Really take a look at it. Don't just dismiss something. And I think what it's saying is look at all of the things that you're looking at doing, or how to move forward, and how to kind of navigate through cutting those ties and moving through differently. So it's, don't close your eyes to anything. Look at all of the things. I'm not saying that you take the thing that feels bad by any means, but it might feel different. And to really make changes, sometimes we have to do those uncomfortable things that feel different, or maybe that, we go, oh, can I be good at that? And not necessarily move towards that one thing. Oh, I know I'm good at that. Well, you're good at that then, so it's like asking you to look at all of the things and do all of the things. So there you have your reading. Yeah, don't close your thoughts or your mind to one specific choice. Be sure to keep yourself open. And there you have your reading for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit that thumbs up button. It does help, and it helps us connect. And I appreciate you. Take care. Have a beautiful day.